Hey, what's up, everyone? Ralph here. So let's talk about your boy Jeff Bezos. He's in the news recently because apparently he sold off some of his stock, right? And when you hear this, obviously, when you hear this, you're hearing, all right, so the founder of a company selling off stock. I mean, there's a lot of things that's going on in your head, and you're like, okay, why is the founder like selling off stock? Is this something that you need to be worried about, concerned? Like, is there something going on with the company, right? So this is just things that, especially as an investor, you need to be like aware of, right? So obviously, for me, when I heard that, you want to deep dive and like figure out what's going on and find out like why this is happening. So obviously, like, so in this video, I'm just gonna break that, share with that. We're gonna read a quick little article, go over like stock prices and just give you a breakdown and some things that you need to be concerned about, some opportunities, and just so you have an idea of like what's going on and why he's selling off some of his stocks, because this is obviously something like when this happens you need to know. So give you a quick summary of what's going on. So I think last week he sold off 1.7 million shares of stock, right? And I think that equates to about like $240 million. So he did that last week. So then yesterday he sold off another 8 to 10 million shares, and that equated to about $1 billion worth of stocks. So it's just like, all right, that's a lot to be just like unloading, right? You're like, that's 8 to 10 million shares, and you're like unloading all that. So like, what's going on? So that equates to about $1 billion. So apparently what he's doing is he's trying to do a couple of things, right? I think he's trying to get into some philanthropic things with his money, so he needs some of that cash. And also I think he's also trying to further push his space program, like trying to compete with SpaceX and Elon Musk, right? So I think he needs some of the cash to do that. So it's not too big of a deal, but we're gonna read the article and also break down like what exactly he's trying to do. But first, let's look at the stock price just to see what's going on, right? Because there was some type of sell-off yesterday in terms of when that happened. But I think they're doing pretty good. They've rebounded and they've been doing good so far. So if you look at the Amazon stock price, like today they're up 2.3%, which is good. For the week they're up 0.48%. The month 14, almost 15%. If you go year to date, they're up 71%. So they're doing fine. Like Amazon, obviously, you ain't got no issue. You got too many issues so far. They're doing well. So, but when you hear that, when he's selling off stock, you're like, all right, what's going on? So, if we read this article. So it's Jeff Bezos aggressive again Tuesday, selling more Amazon stock after unloading shares last week. So it says that, all right, so Jeff Bezos is expected to be aggressive in selling more shares of Amazon on Tuesday, sources told. Bezos may sell as many as 8 to 10 million shares, which would amount to more than $1 billion worth of stock, the sources told Faber. Shares of Amazon closed down around 1.5%. It comes after Bezos last week unloaded about $240 million worth of Amazon shares, according to financial filings. The transactions were marked as contributions to nonprofit organizations. So obviously that for last week, what he was doing, he was sending it to giving a lot of his money to nonprofit organizations. And I think he kind of like, a lot of these billionaires, what they say is that over their lifetime they want to donate their money to nonprofit organizations, right? They don't want to keep that money. They want to give out their money. I guess it's like a pledge that they all probably signed to just give out their money, to each his own. So it's unclear who Bezos donated his shares to. The representative for Bezos didn't immediately respond to a request. What did it say? All right, where it go? All right, so Bezos, who is the third richest person in the world with a net worth of around 170 billion, according to Bloomberg, still owns about 988 million Amazon shares. So that's a drop in a bucket. Those shares that he just sold off is nothing compared to what he actually owns. $988 million shares. He's doing all right, and he still owns a good chunk of Amazon. And it says which amounts to nearly 10% stake in the company. So it says, all right, since stepping down as CEO of Amazon in 2021, Bezos has accelerated his charitable giving and has said he plans to give away as much of his fortune in his lifetime. Bezos and his fiancee Lauren Sanchez in August pledged $100 million to recovery efforts in Maui after deadly wildfires ravaged the Hawaiian island. Bezos has said he sells at least $1 billion of Amazon stock a year to fund his rocket startup Blue Origin, and in 2020 he launched a $10 billion Earth fund to combat the effects of climate change. Earlier this month, Amazon founder and executive chairman announced that he plans to leave Seattle and move to Miami, allowing him to be closer to his parents. So basically, obviously, what he's doing is wants to give away his money every year. Also, he wants to fund his little space program, Blue Origin. So you'll see that every year he'll be unloading some of the stocks. But you can see that he owns a big chunk of Amazon. Like I said, 988 million shares, which counts for about 10% stake in the company. So it's not a big deal. Obviously, if you're on Amazon stock, that's not something to be concerned about. So let's go over some of the challenges and opportunities and concerns, like things that Amazon is looking to get into and things that you need to be worried about. So the first thing is all right, they have a partnership with Meta and Snapchat, right, which is going to allow people to shop their products on those platforms, which is a good thing. If you're someone that's on Snapchat, you're on Meta, then you'll probably see. I'm not sure when this is going to start, but you'll start seeing Amazon products where you can shop if that's something that you do. But that's something that they're also trying to do. Also, they're also trying to get into the car selling space, right? They partnered with Hyundai. This partnership is going to be starting next year, so they're also trying to get into the car selling business. Of course, you've heard of their grocery deliveries. That's something that they're trying to do. That's something they're trying to get into. And also, based on earnings and revenues, their earnings and revenues reports were good, so that's why their stocks was up. So that was something that obviously it's something you want to hear. You want to hear that a company's doing well when it comes to earnings and revenues, and of course Amazon does well with that. But some things that you need to be concerned about, and I'll list them right here, is all right, so AWS, which is their cloud business, Amazon Web Service, missed revenue estimates, right? Because Amazon Web Service and Amazon itself is two entities. So, but AWS accounts for a lot of the profit for Amazon. So, but they've missed revenue estimates. So you gotta watch out for that, because they're also in competition with other cloud service business, like Microsoft has Azure. So other companies are also creating their own cloud business, because a lot of these companies rely on AWS, but obviously companies like Microsoft don't want they want to create their own, so they don't have to rely on competition. And so they also have AI competition. Microsoft is, the competition with them, so that's something that you have to be concerned about. And then they have legal issues, right? You have regulators challenging the Amazon's market power, right? They have too much market share, too much power. So you know how regulators are. When a company's growing so big, they want to make sure, all right, they need to make sure that they don't get too big where they control a lot of things. So they have legal issues in regards to that. And of course, you got to worry. They're also worried about, investors are worried about the future of e-commerce sales due to dropping consumer demand, right? A lot of companies are worried about the recession, so they're worried about for maybe next year that demand and purchasing products might go down, and of course that affects Amazon long term. So in the future. So these are things that you want to obviously keep in mind, and keep in mind as you're someone that invests in Amazon. But obviously overall, if you use Amazon, you know how a good of a service they are. Everybody shops Amazon. The fact that they have the 2-day shipping, some now is getting to a point where they can ship it the next day. I think they're even trying to get to a point where they can ship it same day. So Amazon overall, we all understand is a good business. And like I said, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy it or whatever what to do. But it's just sharing some information on Amazon, because we've all used Amazon and we all understand how great of a business that it is. So but these are just things that you want to obviously keep in mind and keep up to date with what's going on, because as an investor, you want to make sure that you're investing in products that make sense and that offers value to not only yourself but society as a whole. So yeah, so that's all I got for you guys today. If you got any comments or questions, make sure to leave it down below. Hit the like button, share, and if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe. All right, so you guys take care. Have a good one. Later.